Okay, hello everyone. Um, so I think it's about time. So I think we should get started. So yeah, let me introduce. Okay, dear friends, I will say that good morning or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining us for today's webinar. I'm very happy to introduce our moderator for today, Professor Jintao Xu. Jintao is former Center Director of EfD China, who graduated and becomes one of the partners of EfD. Let's welcome Professor Xu, and he will be today's moderator for our webinar.
Hello, everyone. Very good to see all these familiar names. And today's speaker is Professor Lunyu Xie from Renmin University of China. And let me give a brief introduction of Professor Xie's profile. Professor Lunyu Xie's research area span environmental and resource economics, energy economics, and applied econometrics. Her researches range from industry migration and air quality, electricity market reform, and climate change, household energy consumption survey and research, and green development in less developed areas. Her publications appear at Journal of Development Economics, Energy Economics, China Economic Review, and Environmental and Resource Economics, among many others. Today, her topic will be Central Environmental Protection Inspection, Short-Term Strategic Behavior, and Air Pollution in China. Let me use 1 minute to emphasize the importance of this study. You know, China's air quality improved dramatically. People usually attribute this tremendous environmental improvement to heavy-handed administrative measures, including this Central Environmental Protection Inspection. But it is a heavy-handed administrative measures. The achievement comes with heavy social cost in the form of mill closure, unemployment, and unpredictable outcomes. And it certainly exerts short-term strategic behavior, leading to unstable outcome of environmental improvement. So I think Professor Xie's research in this aspect is very important and sheds light with future environmental policy improvement. So without further ado, let's welcome Professor Xie's presentation. Professor Xie, you have the floor.
Okay. Thanks, Jinhao, for introducing me and chairing this presentation. And thanks, Yuan for inviting me. I'm really glad to have this opportunity to share with my old friends and soon becoming new friends the work in progress. And also thanks, Jinhao, for introducing the importance of this study. As you can, so everyone can see the slides, right?
Yes,
and
I
it's
can.
full screen, right? Okay. So as everybody can see that this study is entitled Central Environmental Protection Inspection, Short-Term Strategic Behavior and Air Pollution. This work is co-authored with Hao Shengyan and Wang Jianfei from Central University of Finance and Economics, And this version is preliminary, so we're still working on it. So any comments and suggestions are more than welcome. So this is outline of today's presentation. So first, the motivation of this study. We all know that in the battle against the local environmental pollution, regulations are usually accompanied with inspections from upper governments. However, potential strategic behaviors could undermine the effect of inspections. There has been a lot of literature showing the presence and the outcomes of strategic behavior. The studies are still limited on the factors affecting the likelihood of strategic behaviors and the effective approaches for the alleviation of this strategic behavior. So this paper, we aim to investigate the short-term strategic behavior of local governments in the context of the Central Environment Protection Inspection in China. And this is especially important for China because we suffer from severe air pollution and invest largely in environmental protections and inspections, as introduced by Professor Xu. So we focus on three research questions in this study. The first is whether there is short-term strategic behavior in response to CEPI, and who is more likely to engage in the short-term strategic behavior. And the third question is how to mitigate the short-term strategic behavior. Here's a preview of our findings. We find that air quality improves significantly during on-site inspection, while it rebounds quickly after the inspection. So that shows the existence of short-term strategic behavior. We also find that local governments with lower priority of environmental protection, lower public pressure, and higher proportion of state-owned enterprises are more likely to engage in strategic behavior. We also find that short-term strategic behavior diminishes in the second round CEPI, especially in the cities where the local leaders were held accountability based on the first round inspection results. And those cities who took rectification measures in air pollution control after the first round CEPI. Okay. So here are some potential contributions of this study. First, this study adds China case to the literature on strategic behavior under monitoring, and as the first paper, as we know, to provide empirical evidence on how to mitigate short-term strategic behavior. As though 2021 focused on the short-term strategic behavior under routine monitoring, we focus on strategic behavior under campaign-style inspection, the CEPI. In addition, this study reviews the importance of the long-term measure in the mitigation of strategic behavior and provides new evidence on the role of deterrent effects of the punishment in inspections. The second potential contribution is that this paper is related to this paper contributed to the related literature by proposing a better estimation strategy. There's a large literature in this topic. For example, Kaplas and Wu 2023 employed a staggered DID and found that short-lived effect of CEPI on SO2 concentration, and Zhu and Wang 2024 used a generalized DID and found that CEPI improves air pollution by releasing credible signal. In this study, we explore the role of air monitoring system in China. We take reference monitors that are located far from urban areas as a control group. So this identification allow us to compare the air quality data in the same city. So this can improve the accuracy of estimation. The third potential contribution is that this paper fits into the literature of political economics on environmental protection. We analyze factors that influence strategic behavior from the perspective of stakeholders in environmental pollution. Our findings align with the literature on government attitude, public appeals, and government cooperation connection. So based on the findings, we shed light on how to improve the long-run effectiveness of environmental protection regulation. Then next, I'm going to introduce what is CEPI and the main steps of CEPI, which will help to understand the identification strategy of this study. So the official launch of CEPI was marked by a pilot inspection in Hebei province in January 2016. It expanded to cover the remaining provinces in 4 batches over the following 2 years. There are about 6 steps for CEPI, but the most important 2 steps relevant to our paper is as follows. The step 1 is the inspection team conducted on-site inspection in each province. So that means the central inspection team will go to province and do inspections on-site. So during on-site inspection, the team works primarily on reviewing official documents and collecting public concerns through various channels. And this on-site inspection generally lasts around 30 days. And the second most important step is that the inspection team compiles a detailed inspection feedback report. This report will be approved by the central government and then sent back to the provincial governments. The report documents identified problems, provides details of punishments for the violations, and the punishment target include both entrepreneurs and government officials. And the report also requires rectification measures. For example, the first round of CEPI received over 1 million public complaints in total, initiated 29,000 cases, imposed fines accounting to more than 1 billion Chinese yuan, and conducted more than 1,000 criminal investigations and resulted in 1,000 detentions. Additionally, 18,000 government officials were interviewed, and most of them were held accountability. Okay. Then the second round of CEPI officially started in June 2019 and completed inspections of 19 provinces within 3 years. Due to the punishments from the first round CEPI and the pressure of future inspections, local governments are likely to adopt long-term actions with the aim of sustained environmental improvements. Okay, so to investigate the 3 research questions I just proposed, we collect the data from various sources, including air quality station level daily data, meteorological station level daily data, and economic city level annual characteristics. And also to understand which cities are more likely to have this strategic behavior, we also collect data from like textual data like CEPI reports, local message board to the government leaders, and Baidu search index on environmental protection, and also the rectification plans by the local governments. I'm going to introduce this data in more detail when we use it in regressions. Okay, so first, the baseline analysis is to answer the first research question, whether there is short-term strategic behavior in response to CPI. So here is identification strategy. Traditionally, the studies that focus on CPI use DID method, but the potential problem is CPI was conducted in provincial batches. So there are only four provincial batches. So the regions subjected to different batches may not be comparable, right? So to address this problem, we compare air quality data reported by the stations in the same city. We can do this because China has established air quality reference monitors, which are located more than 20 kilometers from major sources of pollution and urbanized areas. That is, we can compare air quality data from reference monitors and non-reference monitors. So this comparison can allow us to access the influence of human activities on air pollution. So taking the shock of CPI within one single city as an example, this is our standard event study model. And to estimate the average treatment effects of all the cities, of the inspections in all cities, we pull the sample together as estimate the following equations. So this is standard event study. I'll skip all the letters and the math and the equations and jump right into the results. So here is a graph from the event study, and this is the baseline period, and we can see that. Can you see my the mouse moving?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So this is the baseline date, and we can see that the air pollution is significantly alleviated under the on-site inspection, right? We see the reduction in the baseline date. This is when on-site inspection took place. And this is the 1 month after the on-site inspection. And we see in these 2 months, the air pollution is reduced, right? But we can see that the air pollution declines rapidly after the 2nd month and becomes statistically insignificant. Okay, so we can see it rebounds back after 2 months. That's what we see from the graph, and from the estimation tables, we can see that CPI leads to a short-term 2.3% reduction in local air pollution during the period of on-site inspection. However, the air quality rapidly revert to previous level after 2 months of on-site inspection. This the period after the on-site inspection at the following months. So after the window period, it's a rebound period because we can see that the air quality rapidly revert. Okay, that is air pollution rebound. Okay, to the original level. Okay. That is for the average of all the cities. We also draw picture of all the cities to estimate for each single city, and these dots on the left plot showing the estimated coefficients during the window period. Okay, we can see that most of them have reduced air pollution because all the coefficients for all the cities are negative and statistically significant. And on the right plot is the estimated coefficients for a rebound period. And we can see about half of the cities have the rebound, and the other half does not have the rebound. So that is all the cities on the right hand side of the red vertical line, those cities have rebound. That means these cities engage in short-term strategic behavior. Okay, they only reduce air pollution during window period, during the on-site inspection team was there. And then they like revert to the original pollution level after 1 month when the team left. Okay. We also do the event study for different airborne pollutants. We find a notable drop during the window period for pollutants easily observed, such as particle matter 2.5, particle matter 10, and sulfur dioxide. In contrast, for the pollutants which are less easily to be observed, we do not find such significant reduction. Okay, that is the government engaged in this strategic behavior to reduce the pollutants which are easily to be observed. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, this is the baseline results. We also do a series of robustness checks. First is that potential data manipulation. Okay, so they say when the on-site inspection team was there, the local government has strong incentive to either reduce their air pollution for sure, or they can manipulate the data, right? So we check whether there is a data manipulation when the on-site inspection team was there. So we follow Martinez 2022 and compare PM 2.5 data from satellite remote sensoring with data reported by air quality monitors. And after regression analysis, we do not find evidence that local governments manipulate the PM 2.5 data from the monitors in response to CEPI implementation. Okay. And this makes sense too, right? So when the inspection team was there, to just manipulate the reporting data does not help much if the chimney is still emitting heavily, right? The teams can see. So we do not find evidence on data manipulation. Makes sense. And also there are like many confounding policies during the inspection period. And the most important three confounding policies are as follows: air pollution prevention and control law, ranking program for changes in urban environment air quality, and the 13th five-year development plan. Okay, so we control for the potential effects of these relevant policies, and after controlling for this, the regression results remain similar to the baseline results. Okay. Next, we move on to heterogeneity analysis. Based on this heterogeneity analysis, we investigate who or which cities are more likely to engage in the short-term strategic behavior. Here's the framework of this analysis. We investigate in from the perspective of stakeholders. That is, short-term strategic behavior aims to mask environmental pollution problems, and this environmental pollution problems involves several stakeholders, including local governments, the public, and the polluting firms. So we construct variables to measure the attitudes of local governments, the pressure faced by the government from the public, and also the relation between local government and polluting firms. Now, here's what we do. So for government attitudes, because we want to see when government have different attitudes toward environmental protection, when they have different attitudes, they may take different behaviors. So, so we based on the CEPA report, we construct two variables to measure government attitudes. One is the implementation of the policy. So this variable is to measure whether the local governments prioritize development over protection. If the local governments prioritize development over environmental protection, then we say the government have low attitude toward protection toward environmental protection. And the second variable we construct is official evaluation. This variable is to measure whether the evaluation of the local officials. So when the local government do the evaluations, whether they emphasize environmental protection. Okay, if they overlooks the effort the officials input to protect the environment, just to emphasize the GDP and things like that, then we also say that this local government has low attitude to environmental protection. So, so group one here is the government with low attitude, and group one is the government with high attitude toward environmental protection. And we can see that when local government neglect environmental protection prior to CP, on-site inspection is more likely to induce strategic actions to temporarily reduce local air pollution. See that because we can see that for the local government with low attitude, during winter period, the air pollution is reduced dramatically, but then during rebound period, the air pollution rebound. Okay, so for public pressure, we also constructed two variables One is we collect environment messages on local leaders' message boards. So in each city, there is a leader's message board. So the public, so the residents of the city can post environment complaints or concerns on this board. Then the local leaders will receive the message from the board. So we see, we collect the environment messages from the board and calculate the proportion of environmental messages and the over all the messages. So the proportion, if the proportion is high, that means the public care about environment a lot. Oh, this city has a serious environment problem. So when the proportion is high, the local government face large public pressure for environment protection. Okay. The second criteria is the proportion of environmental terms in Baidu search index. If this that is, if the public search environment things on Baidu search, that means the public cares about environment. Then the local government faces high public pressure on environment protection. And so group 0 here means low public pressure, and group 1 means high public pressure. And we find that, we can see the negative estimated coefficients here, but then it rebounds to previous level. Okay, so again, we find that local governments are more likely to adopt short-term strategies when they face lower public pressure. Okay, third, for the emitting firms, we construct two variables. One is the proportion of state-owned and enterprises in cities. Okay. And the second variable is the proportion of secondary industry in cities. We want to know whether this, if the city, so the cities have different concentration of SOEs, right? They also have different industrial structures. So if a city has a lot of SOEs, they may more easily to engage in strategic behavior. And if the secondary industry is the main GDP source for a city, they are more likely to engage in strategic behavior because they do not want to do real. They may have they may not have the motivation to do real environmental protection because this will hurt the emitting firms, right? So here is our findings. Well, again, we find that for group 0 is the cities with lower concentration of SOEs. Oh, here. And lower secondary industry proportions. And we find that cities with higher percentage of SOEs and higher proportion of secondary industry are more likely to engage in strategic behaviors. Okay. And finally, we investigate how to mitigate the short-term behavior for air pollution alleviation. The second round of CEPI provides an opportunity to empirically investigate this question. After the first round of CEPI, two types of measures are adopted. One is severe penalties, and the second is rectification measures. So generally, we find for the second round of CEPI, we do not find evidence for the strategic behavior. So that is during on-site inspection or after on-site inspection, the air pollution level do not change dramatically. So we want to know, okay, after the first CEPI, there is a punishment and also there is a rectification, right? So which works to reduce the strategic behavior in the second round of CEPI? So first we look at the effect of the punishment. The two variables we construct is whether the entrepreneurs encountered more violation cases in the first round CEPI. So so the punishment target both entrepreneurs and the local governments. So if the inspection team files violation cases, the entrepreneurs or local governments will be punished. For entrepreneurs, the punishment include fine, like that's a financial penalty, and also detention. Okay, go to jail. And for local government, the penalty includes both interview and detention. Okay. So we say if the entrepreneurs in the city or the local governments in the city were punished severely in the first round of CEPI, what do they behave? How do they behave in the second round of CEPI? And here is our finding. We find that the cities encountered more punishments in the first round CEPI are more likely to react to the second round CEPI. Interestingly, we find that the reaction is not like a short-term behavior because during the rebound period, the reduction of air pollution lasts. Okay, it does not rebound. And next, we investigate the effect of rectification measures. So the variables we construct is whether the city having rectification measures in air pollution reduction. Okay, and the regression results show that the implementation of environmental protection policies, like the rectification measures, indeed reduced the short-term strategic behavior. That is, they have taken measures to improve environment, to improve air quality. So when the inspection team come again, they have no need for short-term strategic behavior because they have done long-term environment protection measures. Okay, so here is basically what all about the study. So for conclusion, what do we do in this paper? We utilize the spatial variation in air quality dynamics within the same city. We investigate how CEPI influence local air quality, and we find that First, air quality improves significantly during on-site inspection while it rebounds quickly after the inspection. So that is evidence of the short-term strategic behavior. We also find that local governments with lower attitude toward environmental protection, lower public pressure, and higher proportion of SOEs are more likely to engage in strategic behavior. And also, the punishments and this finding is the old one. The new finding is that the punishment from the first round of CEPI actually worked. Okay, so these findings provide evidence for the existence and influence factors of short-term strategic behavior under monitoring and shed light on how to address this problem. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lunyu, for this very interesting, impressive study. I have one comment and one question before I open the floor. The comment is that this struck me that when state sector is strong, then that areas more tend to adopt short-term behavior. And I always think that heavy-handed administrative measure in environmental protection discriminate against private sector in favor of state sector. And your conclusion indicates the similar patterns where there's a strong state sector, then they have stronger protection from local government in the form of strategic behavior. But that basically just said administrative measures doesn't do just to the economy, especially doesn't do just doesn't do justice to the private sector. It has very serious implications for long-term economic development. My question is that you also analyze the potential long-term behavior using the second round inspection. But from your event study, it doesn't seem, maybe I didn't get it, but it doesn't seem that it doesn't have strategic behavior, but it doesn't seem to have reduction effect, pollution reduction effect either. So can you explain it? It doesn't like the first round.
Right.
It has significant reduction in pollution. But from this figure, it doesn't seem to have significant reduction either. So
exactly, you're right. So CEPI, the aim of CEPI is not to like I go the province, then they reduce air pollution, and I left, and then they emit again. So when the local government do what they need to do to protect environment, so when the inspection team comes, they have no additional to do. There's no additional things they have to do to respond to the inspection, right? So that indicate the first round CEPI's punishment and the rectification measures actually worked. Okay. Do I answer your question?
it remains questionable for me, but yeah, we'll talk about it later in other occasions. So I will open the floor and see if there's any additional questions from our audience. Yeah. Anyone has question?
Yes, maybe I can ask one. Yeah, so, but also maybe I missed some elaboration from Lunyu, so I'm just like I'm very curious and also for clarifying. So, yeah, so it is very interesting to see the windowing effect of the inspection when they come, and then the rebounded increase of air pollution after the inspection team is gone. And I'm also wondering, maybe you can elaborate more to us about what specific strategic behaviors that the local government do when the inspection team is here. So by specific, I mean, yeah, so how different they treat state SOEs and also private companies, and also maybe I was thinking they require or ask or even told the companies to shut down for some period, or do they also promise them maybe when the inspection team and you can open again? But I guess this must be very different between the SOEs and the private companies, and that will induces some costs for the SOEs as well as for the private companies. So, well, in terms of both economic costs and also social costs. So, yeah, maybe you can tell us more about that. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Yuan, for this question. This question is a very, very important to flash this study. So far, what we observe from the data that there is a strategic behavior, that is empirical evidence, right? And the what they really do during on-site inspection period, the we actually we've heard a lot of stories, right? Like say SOEs, they can emit as much as they want during normal time, but when the inspection team was on site, so the local government told the SOEs, so the team is here, so you either like there is a study actually we cited here. So what they do is to reduce the production level, because to install environment control devices is a long-term air pollution reduction measure. But if they install air pollution control devices, we will not see the rebound in air pollution, right? So that means when the on-site team was there, they only like reduce production. So there lower production, lower emission, and better air quality. But after the team left, the production go back the normal level or even higher than normal level to make up the production loss during the on-site period. Okay, so that's basically what the story we hear, and also there is a academic paper published find this thing empirically.
Okay, I think Zihan also has a question. Yeah, please go ahead, Zihan.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No? Okay. Because I'm not very knowledgeable about the background of the inspection. I'm just curious about interpretation of the result, particularly second round, right? The first round you see it goes down and rebounds, right? So it means it only works short terms and no longer works in longer term, which is fine. It's interesting, but the second round, we basically see there is nothing, right?
Right.
So the inspection, well, it doesn't reduce pollution or increase it or anything, right? Then I'm just curious how to interpret this. Like, it's supposed to work, then it doesn't, or there's something else that's going on.
Yeah, I think this question is similar to Professor Xu's question. So basically, we find, we find basically nothing in the second round of CPI. I think from this results showing here, we can only conclude that there is no air pollution reduction during the on-site inspection period. If we want to conclude that that's because there is no strategic behavior, I think we need to like compare the air pollution level 2 years ago in the first round of CPI and see, well, when the inspection team was here and there is no actual air pollution reduction, that's because they have improved the air pollution after the first round of CPI. So that's why they do not have to take actual measures during inspection. And that's why we do not see air pollution reduction during the second round of CPI. Yeah, that reminds me what we need to add to the paper. Okay, thank you for this question.
Yeah, thank you. That's what actually also kind of my suggestion as well. Right? It's better to combine the change in absolute levels to interpret the relative results. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see one more hand.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. I have a small clarification question about the government attitude evaluation. I noticed that you mentioned 2 criteria, but I'm not sure how you and your co-authors to quantify or how to evaluate these 2 criteria, especially the second one. I think the official evaluation is not so easy to quantify according to the textual report. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for this question. And this part we are still working on it. What we have done so far is we connect the textual data from the CEPI report. So in the CEPI report, they will describe, say, how the local government implement the policies. When they implementing policies, whether they prioritize development over protection. And this word actually is written in the CEPI report. Okay, so we just go to CEPI report and see whether the local government is evaluated in this way by the central government, by the inspection team. Okay, if yes, then we say you are group 0. Okay, And for the second materials, it's also in the CEPI report. The report will say, so when you evaluate your officials, you overlook environmental protection. So you did not, so yeah, the two criteria are not easy to connect the data from a government work report, but the CEPI report literally write these two criteria down and evaluate the local government based on the two criteria. That's what we do.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
No more hands. So can I hand it back to you, Yuan Yuan?
Yes, thank you all. So I think it's a very interesting webinar, and thank you, Lunyu, thank you, Jintao, and I'm very happy to close today's webinar. Yeah, so in October we won't have one, but we supposed to have one in November. I think EfD will send out the communication letters later. All right, very glad to see you all here.
Thank
Hope
you
you
all.
all have a good day, good evening. Yes.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You. Bye.